With President Trump refusing to take federal action to curb the spread of coronavirus and totally and completely unwilling, or perhaps completely unable, to play the part of a national unifier, we get to see how things would be if the Articles of Confederation weren't replaced in 1789.
This is their new hoax.
In this series, we will rate each governor on their COVID-19 response, and we will go state by state and give scores in 5 categories on a scale of 1 to 10. The categories are the following: quickness of the response, the substance of the response, the current progression of cases, reopening efforts, and testing capability. At the end, we'll average these scores up and give them a grade, and the grade scale is the following: 9 to 10 is an A, 7 to 8 is a B, 5 to 6 is a C, 4 is a D, and 1 to 3 is an F. And remember, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up and don't forget to subscribe. Let's get right into the video. The first state we will begin with in our 50-state countdown will be the great state of Illinois, the home of Chicago, the Cubs, deep dish pizza, Hillary Clinton, and Walt Disney, and more importantly, the man on trial today, Governor Pritzker. Our first category is the quickness of the response. Governor J.B. Pritzker put the stay-at-home order in place on March 21st. The first case was confirmed in Illinois on January 24th, and in March, cases started to rapidly multiply right before he put it in place. On March 14th, Illinois had 56 cases. A week later, they had over 500 cases. A little talked about part of these stay-at-home orders is that in order for people to follow them, they need to understand that there is a risk. And if you call it too early, no one will follow it. And if you call it too late, then your inaction costs people their lives. A new study out of Columbia University found that 36,000 lives could have been saved if stay-at-home orders were put in place a week earlier. The situation in Illinois rapidly developed, but Governor Pritzker had the rest of the world in Washington state to reference. I think Governor Pritzker would have nailed this order if he had done it 3 days earlier. For that reason, I'm giving him a 7 out of 10. The next category is substance of the response. A lot of America's stay-at-home orders were pretty toothless compared to the rest of the world, but Pritzker's order mandated masks in public, issued citations, dispersal orders, and arrested those jeopardizing public health by having large gatherings. However, still, Illinois has a F in social distancing according to cell phone data. Governor Pritzker took action to protect his state with enforcement mechanisms despite his citizens not following it. That gets him a 8 out of 10. Next category is progression of cases. As of May 20th, the curve has yet to flatten in Illinois. Illinois has over 100,000 cases, 40,000 more than Pennsylvania, a state with the same amount of people, 2 major population centers, and is surrounded by some of the largest population centers in the United States. Pritzker's inability to inspire his residents to stay home for Illinois lands him a 3 out of 10. Our second to last category is reopening efforts. Yesterday, Governor Pritzker announced a reopening plan. On May 29th, restaurants and bars can reopen. Tables will have to be 6 feet apart and away from the sidewalks. Masks will also be required for staff. This is an interesting attempt, but it comes too early. Illinois has claimed to flatten the curve multiple times since March, but the situation keeps getting worse. Perhaps the solution will work, but with Illinois still having over 1,000 cases a day and residents' complete disregard for the stay-at-home order, I think it's too early. This lands Governor Pritzker a 5 out of 10. And our last and final category is testing. Illinois has tested the 5th most in the entire United States, and for every 1,000 citizens, 50 of them have been tested. This is above the US average of 37.3, but that places them 13th in the country. Governor Pritzker took steps to increase testing, but it's still not where it needs to be. This lands him a 6 out of 10. At the end of all this, Governor Pritzker's score is 5.8 out of 10. We will make that a C+. Governor Pritzker is one of the best governors in the country in my mind, and while he has taken a lot of steps to fight coronavirus, steps that prevented Illinois from becoming New York, his response will only land a C+.